Welcome to another dojo topic. Oh my gosh, I am very, very excited to share this topic today. Um, Today in the dojo, we had such an amazing conversation around this topic, and the topic for today is um, the field of possibilities. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that, or you're like, what the heck are you talking about? Well, you've attracted this video for a reason. So I will start sharing my screen with you right now and get into the message of this first and foremost, so that you um, just see what we talked about today. So every Tuesday, we meet virtually at the dojo, and we have a different topic every week, and we discuss the topic together. If you're not able to join us live, you do get the benefit of being able to see these topics via video. However, you don't get to be part of the conversation. So if you like this conversation, you like this topic, you'd like to know more, check us out and see what you think and whether or not it calls to you to join us weekly. But today we're going to be talking about the field of possibilities. As I said, there were so many ahas going on today, and I know just for myself, things that have transpired while I was creating this presentation, whoo, whoo, off the charts, let me tell you. But last week, we talked about one word that can sabotage your manifestations. So if you did not see that video or were unable to join us live, you can go back and watch that video, and I will put that at the end of this video so that you can easily find it and click on it. But for today, we're going to be talking about the field of possibilities. So, following that line of thinking that we were talking about, today we're going to be talking about the power of the spoken word, the field of possibilities, and why you sabotage yourself when you wish for success while planning for failure. Now, what does that mean? You wish for success but plan for failure. Well, one of my favorite authors, that's where this popped out at me, Florence Scovel Shinn. She talked about a man who was one of her clients, and he owed money to someone. And so he was asking the universe, like putting it out there into the universe, give me the money to pay back this person. But all the while, he was thinking about what he would say to this person when he couldn't come up with the money. So do you ever find yourself doing stuff like that? Um, saying, I want this, I want this, I have a desire, I have a need. We talk about the law of attraction and how to attract things, how to manifest things into our life. But what we really do is think about, well, what happens if it doesn't come in? And that's what usually pulls our energy in. That's where the vibrational frequency that we usually exist in. That's the state of being that we usually pull from. And that's what can sabotage us. And we talked about this the last 2 weeks. One of my favorite quotes from Marianne Williamson: it's not our darkness that frightens us most, it's our light. And when you think about that and you think about, okay, well, if I am the light and I am all powerful and I create my reality, that means I can let the universe know, hey, this is what I desire. But when we are afraid of our light, that's when we wish for success, but plan for failure. And that sends a completely different message to the universe, doesn't it? So, what does it mean to plan for failure? If you say you have no self confidence, you're actually confident that you have no confidence. Do you see how that works? If you tell yourself that you have lack of any kind, you're creating an abundance of lack. So we're always creating, we're always putting things into the field of possibilities and making things happen, creating, manifesting from the field of possibilities, but we don't recognize or take responsibility for something that we attract that we don't want, something unwanted instead of what we do want. So we create in the field of possibilities, but most of us only notice when we create something unwanted, right? And if your habit is to notice your unwanted experiences more than your wanted experiences, you've most likely forgotten about the field of possibilities. And I say forgotten because we all come into this world with this knowledge. We know this. But, things happen over life and we have these beliefs and we create our reality based on what we think, what we're told to think, how we're taught to live our life. And because of that, we forget our greatness. We forget that light that's inside of us. And that means we have very few days when we wake up feeling excited about what we're going to create for the day because we freaking forget that we are creating our reality. And when you wake up with disempowering thoughts of lack, limitation, limiting beliefs, you start your day creating what you don't want in the field of possibilities and then blaming outside forces instead of taking responsibility for your creation. Like in this picture, you spill the coffee, maybe it gets on your phone and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, blah blah blah, instead of sitting back and going, I wonder why I created that. And maybe you just created it as a wake-up call, like, hey, you're trying to do too many things, or you didn't allow yourself to get enough sleep last night. We have these signs all around us reminding us of when we are honoring ourselves, our minds, our bodies, but we've forgotten how to pay attention to those signs. But they're always there. They're always guiding us. You don't even recognize when you're doing this because you've been doing it most of your life based on the beliefs you created because of what you were taught or intuited in childhood. And you've just locked those beliefs in the attic of your mind, right? Your memory is holding on to all of the unwanted and all of the negative because you're not allowing yourself to really embrace the positive that is you, the power that is you. Masculine and feminine energy is about being and doing, giving and receiving, offense and defense, resistance and allowing. This divine gift and energy is what we're using to create in the field of possibilities. In the martial arts, we learn there's a time for offense, there's a time for defense, there's a time for flow, there's a time when you can flow and allow the other person's energy to be used against them. So if someone's coming at you and you step off and you just step a certain way, they can just go flying past you and not hurt you in the least. But again, if you don't know this, if you don't know about this giving, receiving, resisting, allowing, if you think you have to resist them when they're coming at you or when life is coming at you, you're just like taking this all on head on and you're just making it so much more difficult for yourself. That's why knowing the power of the masculine and feminine energy, and that it's not about gender, it has nothing to do with gender, it's all about energy. That's when you really start to see, like, oh my gosh, I can see where I have this give and take ability. This doing means, hustle and grind, and I'm always got to be busy and doing something to get that next thing, or instead of just being. And we covered that a couple weeks ago in one of these dojo topics as well. So go back and look at that, check it out. See, these topics, while each one individually gives you so much information, when you're using them to build on each other, you've got this amazing toolkit now that you just keep adding tools to your toolbox and you're like, whoa, I could just keep adding to this and adding to this. So let the information keep building on each other, and whatever calls to you, that's the right one for you in this moment. So knowing about this energy, this understanding masculine and feminine energy can be really helpful because your energy is either flowing effortlessly or a continuous uphill climb that feels like a great deal of effort. It feels like I've got to do more. I didn't do enough today. And you probably will recognize this when you have a huge to-do list and you might get a lot of things done, but what are you doing? You're beating yourself up over the things you didn't get done. Or maybe you said something really, really brilliant, but all you can think about is that one time you fumbled over your words. This is effort because you are not recognizing the light in you and this ability that you have to create in the field of possibilities. Effort sounds like I have faith that everything's going to turn out, but please let that be true, because if it's not, I don't know what I'm going to do because things are really bad right now. I really need an answer. That's effort. That's not flow. But that's how most people come to a problem. That's how most people face what they see as a problem or a challenge instead of allowing, instead of being, instead of flow. What if you start using the field of possibilities to your advantage by saying, I really love to enjoy my life, knowing that source energy is taking care of all my needs and wants. Well, I'll tell you why most people can't, won't, have difficulty with doing this is because someone somewhere along the line told you, well, that's just being lazy. Yeah, if you're just going to lay around and do nothing, see, you fill in the blank. What does your mind tell you? What does your belief tell you? What have you believed all of these years? That you can't stop, relax, enjoy, and instead you've got to be hustling, grinding, and doing, doing, doing. Reality is the leading cause of stress among those in touch with it. I love this saying. I really love this saying because it's a reminder that we create our reality. So if we're getting stressed out about it, we're creating from a primal state of being instead of a powerful state of being. Remember that primal state of being is that fight, flight, or freeze. Like, you're feeling nervous, afraid, put upon, instead of in your powerful state of being. No, I got this. I've put it out there and I know it's going to happen, either in the way I envision it or something better. That is flow. That is relaxing. That is what allows you to live with less stress in your life. When you're creating from the field of possibilities, you don't work for money, you work for the universe. Because you know that the universe is an infinite source of your supply. Everything you need is coming from source energy. But when you're so worried about how am I going to make that happen? How is that going to come about for me? One of my favorite authors, John Strzelecki, he calls that mad how disease. Maybe you could remember that. And the next time that you're saying, how am I going to do this? Think about, oh, wait, that's mad how disease. Anything to make you laugh, right? Because all you have to do is lighten your mood. It only takes 16 seconds to shift our energy from a primal state of being to a more powerful state of being. And then you hold on to that better feeling thought or better feeling belief for another 16 seconds and another 16 seconds. And you'll see that what once seemed like a really negative experience or situation is now not seeming so bad because you're shifting your vibration. You're shifting your vibration to something that feels better for you. If your mind is a bad neighborhood, stop going into it alone. Reach out, ask for help. Stop hanging around people who pull you down. You hold all the power. But if someone is in your life who is negative or pulling you down, if you're not able to stay away from that person, find ways to go within or find ways to separate yourself from that person or ask for help. Come to places like the dojo. This is where we are practicing this type of self-care, self-love. You would be amazed at the conversations that we have about these topics every week and how empowering they are for each one of us. Matter does not control you. You control matter. You have the ability to affect the physical world with your attention, energy, and focus. And if this is something new to you, if you're saying, like, what the heck are you talking about? This is what we're talking about today in the field of possibilities. But remember, you attracted this message, this video, this these words from me for a reason. There's something that you were putting out there, something you're asking the universe for, that you're, and universe, God, creator, source, whatever your name for it is, you've been asking for something, and this video, this message, this information, this answer came into your awareness for a reason. So maybe not all of it is landing on you the way that you want it to, but there's something in here that you've been asking for. So give yourself permission to relax, maybe watch the video a couple times, take some notes, see what pops up for you. Because, this work, and that's what it is, it's work. It's not a one and done. It's not like, okay, I did it once, that's it. I don't want to think about it again. This is why we meet weekly at the dojo, because even though we all know this information, we all have, healed done the healing, we've done the work, but we also know the power of being around other people who have done it, and reminders of, why we do this work, why we honor ourselves, our minds, our bodies, our spirituality. It's so, so valuable for you to be with that vibrational frequency of mutual love and respect that you get when being around people who understand this journey. And as an example of this, let's say when we feel guilty about food, it's because we have an ingrained habit. Imagine, we tell ourselves, like, oh my gosh, I'm having problems with food. I can't seem to lose weight. This is just really one great example of what we're putting out into the field of possibilities. And we're telling ourselves that no matter what I do, nothing's working. Well, the very words that you're using, remember I explained that the field of possibilities, it's vibration, it's the words you're speaking. They have a frequency, it's a vibration that you're putting out there. So if you're constantly telling yourself that no matter what you do, it's not helping, change the vibration by changing the words. And imagine how your body can change when you see everything you eat as something that nourishes your cells and brings about internal and external health and beauty. If you start talking to yourself like that, your body has no recourse other than to go with what you're saying, go with the vibration that you're putting out there. Start talking to yourself the way you want to be. That's what makes the difference. If we've bought into the belief that poor health comes from, I was going to say something specific, but if poor health, or like, no matter what I eat, I just pack on the pounds, or, food isn't kind to me. If you're having those kinds of conversations with yourself, we think about our food as the enemy, because many people have told us it's what's in our food that's making us sick. But really, if we're putting it out there into the field of possibilities, and we're saying, you know what? Everything I'm eating is for the nourishment of my body. We're laughing, we're enjoying our meal. We are, setting an intention before we eat, something like, thank you for this food. Thank you for the nourishment of my body, and how it nourishes every cell in my body, and how all the cells are working together to keep me healthy and vibrant. That's a completely different way to consume your food, rather than rushing through or standing up and trying to eat really quickly and get something in your body. It's completely different if you're just stuffing your belly versus enjoying what you're taking in. Think about what you're saying about your food, and change the way you talk to your food, the way you talk about your food. And this is just about food. I mean, it could be anything. It could be about money. It could be about your relationships. It's anything. Think about what you're saying about it, and change the words because every word you speak sends out a vibration to the universe. Your thoughts about other people can change you as well. So, as you think about what you're putting into the field of possibilities, stop trying to change other people or the government and instead concentrate on loving yourself enough that other people and the government aren't going to change you. This is your power. You have this ability. After all, life starts getting really enjoyable once you've received your MSU degree. By the way, if you're wondering, what is an MSU degree? Make stuff up. That's what it stands for. Make stuff up. Make a list. Make your list. Like, what do you really want? Make up your list. Be as outrageous as you desire to be. Put it in the field of possibilities. Believe you deserve it and watch it come to you in ways maybe that even better than you expected. Don't be afraid. Put it out there. Just like, all right, this is what I really want. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm just going to make it up. I'm going to let the universe, God, source, whatever your version of this is, and say, okay, I'm putting this out there. I expect for this to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know this work enough to know that whatever I'm putting out there, I'm drawing back to me. So I might as well start putting stuff out that I really, really want instead of stuff that I don't want. The universe can only do for you what you allow to flow through you. Think about that. What flows through you? Is it anger, angst, judgment, shame, guilt? Well, then if that's flowing through you, that's what's going to go out into the universe and come back to you. But if it's love, joy, happiness that's flowing through you, that's what you're going to attract more of. So if you want to be more mentally, physically, financially, and spiritually prosperous, you must allow your desires to flow through you by way of your thoughts and feelings. Prosperity happens when you open your mind to the field of possibilities. And if you're wondering, like, I don't know about this, here's some food for thought. There is historical proof that the vibration of sound was once used to move the heavy rocks to build the pyramids. Think about that. If the vibration of sound can build pyramids and move heavy rocks and create something that has lasted for centuries, imagine what your voice, the vibration of your voice can do for what you're putting into the field of possibilities. Imagine if you changed your words. Think about this. Now, what are you thinking now about the field of possibilities? I don't know. When I think about it, I'm like, because when I try to envision it, like, what does that look like to me? I think about this quantum realm that maybe I don't even understand. And the thing is I don't have to understand it. I just have to know it works. Now, how do I know it works? Because I've seen it happen time after time. But here's what I've also seen. I've also seen times in my life where I didn't believe it would happen. And because I didn't believe it would happen, that's when I would wish for success and set myself up for failure. And what do you think I concentrated on most? Well, when you're disbelieving, you're concentrating on failure. And so you fail at that thing that you really wanted. And I like to think about, when I think about the field of possibilities, it's more like when something comes to you that it's unwanted, like, whoa, that's not really what I wanted. Instead of freaking out and panicking about it and getting all upset with yourself or saying, oh my gosh, now I got to start all over again and go back to the drawing board, just say, oh, yeah, that didn't show up the way that I wanted. Think of it in the same way that you would, like if you were drawing a picture. Maybe you draw a picture of a horse and you're like, well, I don't like the way I drew that tail. You just erase it and draw a new tail. You don't really like freak out about the way you drew the tail, right? So it's the same thing. Give yourself permission to think about that masculine and feminine energy that's flowing within you. Are you ready to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to flow? Bruce Lee said, Be like water, flow like water. Water flows. If it comes up against a rock, it just flows around it. Now, it does have the power to erode the rock, but it just flows and it goes. Think about what would your day be like if you were relaxed, if you were going with the flow. I really do love that phrase. Go with the flow, man. Um, Relax more. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. When something comes up that you see as a failure, instead redefine what failure means to you. It's a do-over. Okay, same as mistake. I talked about that a couple weeks ago. I spell the word mistake, MIS/TAKE. It's a do-over opportunity. Just like in the movies, take one, take two, get to keep doing it until you get it the way that you want it to be. So we know that everything we speak, the words we speak, they send out a vibration. And that vibration goes out into the universe and it creates into matter. So, what matter do you want to bring into your life? Think about this. Just take a deep breath and think about what you really, really desire. And then make stuff up. Get out a list. Be as outrageous as you want to be. Have fun with it. Enjoy. Make your list and say, okay, universe, I do not know how this is going to happen, but I want XYZ right now. You know, while I was putting this presentation together, I said, okay, I want to have proof that I can share when I'm doing this presentation and talking about this topic. And so at the beginning of the morning, I said, okay, sometime today, within the next 24 hours, I want to see a purple feather. Now, I had no idea how that was going to happen. I had not planned to leave the house. And so I'm like, well, I don't know. But I had no doubt that it was going to happen. I just said, I want to see a purple feather. And it was getting on, later in the day. And I thought, okay, I know this purple feather's coming. And it was interesting because I was watching something on television and this person was all dressed up. Yep, you guessed it, purple feathers. And I sat back and I smiled and I'm like, yep, thank you. This stuff works. It really works. Now you might think, big deal, a purple feather, but imagine when you start speaking the vibration of prosperity, health, financial wealth, you're in your relationships, in your career. And remember, if your mind is a bad neighborhood where you just can't get rid of those negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions, ask for help. Talk to someone who does this work, who can guide you through it. Visit my website at masteringyourbeliefs.com. I've got so many free resources for you. Check it out. See what's there. Remember, you attracted this video, this message for a reason. So allow yourself to receive. Receive. Gosh, so many of us are really great givers, but not so great in the receiving department. Allow yourself to receive and leave some comments. Let me know what you think, because when you leave comments, it lets other people know, like how this message is landing on each other. And that's how we support each other. Oh, you are creating great things. It's all up to you. Let me know how I can support you, because I love supporting people in this work. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.